Hey everyone. In today's episode, I'm going to show you a couple hikes I did over a month ago, but because of bad weather or other factors, um, I didn't get enough footage of the area I was in to make a full video. But these hikes I did were too interesting and cool to just not show anybody. So I'm going to put a couple hikes together into this video. I don't know, show you guys what it's like and go from there. So with that said, let's get into it. If you're new here, my name's Eric. After getting laid off from my job in 2023, I decided to sell my house and travel around the country while living out of my 2019 Jeep Wrangler. So follow along while I wander around the country, flying by the seat of my pants, never planning ahead, and letting serendipity take the wheel. It is chilly up here this morning, but man, the views are just incredible. I can see almost 360 degrees. I think once I get up to the top of the lookout, it'll be better. Let's go there. Alright guys, I'm not going to subject you to any more of that bad audio, so I'm going to voice over from here out. The site I am at is called Monjo Lookout, and I found it just on Google Maps while looking for another place to camp. I was originally going to camp in Corzozo, New Mexico at the Valley of Fires recreation area, but it was completely full. So I spent my $6 to get a shower and then head over this way towards Ruidoso because there were several Forest Service campgrounds nearby. One of those campgrounds was called Skyline Campground, and I stopped at it on the way up because there was somebody camped there in a tent. And I went up to him and asked him what the conditions were like the previous night because the wind was just howling across that ridge. He said the wind was really bad, but that the sunset and sunrise views made it worthwhile. The Monjo Lookout was constructed in 1940 by the Civilian Conservation Corps to serve as a fire lookout tower within the Lincoln National Forest near Ruidoso, New Mexico. It's constructed using a rustic style and is considered one of the most unique lookouts in the southwest United States. The structure is a 14-foot by 14-foot native stone tower, which contains a small living quarters and is topped with a 7-foot by 7-foot metal frame cab that houses the lookout. Looking out this direction, you can see where my Jeep is, and then also the restroom pit toilets that they provide up there on the mountain. The Monjo Lookout was added to the National Register of Historic Places in 1940. Unfortunately, the actual lookout up in the cab was actually closed and locked. Spring is the windy season in the area, as you can tell by my audio, and these winds dry out the forest to the point of an extreme fire danger. In 2022, the McBride Fire tore through this area of the Lincoln National Forest. It was named after McBride Road near where it ignited on April 12th of that year. It burned 6,159 acres and wasn't fully contained until May 7th, almost a month after it started. The official cause of the fire was determined to be a dead tree pushed by strong winds onto live power lines, which quickly ignited the tree and other deadfall around it. You can still see remnants of that fire in these panoramic views from the lookout. The camera mast they installed has seen better days, to say the least. These winds are incredibly strong up here. If I zoom in, you can kind of see into the office area of the lookout. They have a National Weather Service poster up on the ceiling. This area out here is part of the burn scar from the 2022 fire. As you look around, you can actually see the area of the forest that was not touched and the area that was touched. What's really interesting is the firefighters must have saved this little neighborhood of houses. As I zoom in, you can see that the trees are full and the houses don't look that new, basically. So they must have saved this neighborhood from the fire. So investigating down this other trail, kind of wanted to see where it went. I know there's hiking trails that lead up to the lookout, but I didn't know if this was what this trail was or not. And it looks like, as I get a little further down here, that this just leads to the septic tank for the lookout. I should have known this trail wasn't a hiking trail, as it's pretty overgrown with bushes. I'm going to take this trail around the backside of the residence just to kind of see what other architectural features I can see up here. So you can see right there is a window. It's covered with a metal grate to keep people and animals out. Then continuing around to the more western side, you've got two more windows here, also with metal grates over the top. And you can also see the stone rain gutter built into the actual structure in between those two windows. After taking in the view a little while longer, I decided to go back down and check out the campgrounds around the grounds of the lookout. There's supposed to be up to 10 or 11 primitive campsites stationed around the lookout, but I was only able to find about 5 or 6. They were very overgrown and didn't offer any kind of services other than that toilet we saw earlier. Here is one tent site. Again, no fire ring or anything like that. Continuing on around the corner, this looks to be more like a picnic area. There is a spot for a tent, flat spot, and but this site directly overlooks the road to the lookout. This next area, I was just following a path that was actually across the street from where I had parked. I thought maybe there would be some camping areas over there near the grassy field, but it ended up just being completely overgrown and not very useful for camping, but it did give a nice perspective of the lookout. I actually did stay up on the mountain that night, and the winds increased to almost 50 miles an hour. But as the guy down at the other campsite said, the sunrise sure was worth it. This is from the next morning as I was making my way back down the mountain. A few days after leaving the Ruidoso area, I made my way to southeast Arizona and the Dragoon Mountains. This is where I stumbled on the Cochise stronghold. It's so named because the Chiricahua Apache chief Cochise and his tribe used the area as a base of operations against the U.S. Army after the United States seized the land in 1850. The Cochise Stronghold Trail starts off from the campground on the east side of the Stronghold Divide. Just on the other side of the bridge, it starts as a short, looped nature trail that leads back to this spot. The trail only rises about 1,100 feet in elevation, but if you hike all the way to the west trailhead on the other side of the divide, you'll have to climb that elevation twice. I think I could probably do Half Moon Tank and call that good.
trail starts as a slow climb along a dry creek bed for about a half mile before coming to a hiker's gate. As you pass through the gate and continue your ascent, you're still following the creek for most of the way. At the 1 mile mark, you come to a kind of clearing with what looks like the remnants of a well. I believe this is the spring that we saw on the sign at the beginning of the hike.
There's creek bed, pool of water for the frogs. We are at 1 mile mark of a 2 mile hike. There's the well, and then there's a trail that way that looks like it goes to the creek, and then we'll take the main trail.
Just past this spot is where the climb and elevation really starts. Take note of this rock cairn marking the trail. It's going to come into play later.
Lost the trail. Oh, because it goes that way, maybe. Well, I've lost the trail among all the cow paths. I can see cow prints, but no shoe prints. I mean, see what you think. Are those horse or cow? You know, it kind of looks like a path through there, but I don't see where it goes. More indents. Yeah, there are paths everywhere. Does not look like a Forest Service path at all. So we are going to either quit or go sideways and back to a established trail. Okay, here's another. Still seeing horse, cow. What the fuck? Okay. I don't think I'm in the right area. Go back to the last cairn I saw. found that. Who knows how long we've been here. All right. Man, everything is quickly sticky. Perks to walk through. Ow. Okay, so over there is the cairn I saw, and totally missed this, the trail. Yep, this is the trail. And the half-mile mark, or the 1.5 mile, I guess. 1.5 miles, half mile to go. I had to sit and take a break. I think we've gone up about 500 feet, and my lungs are feeling it. Not used to this. This wouldn't be a hard hike down closer to sea level, but up here, I am not used to this. I'm gonna take a moment, get some water, catch my breath, and then continue. Oh. Well, this flatlander has called it quits. I'm at the 2 mile mark of this trail, and I don't have enough water to continue, for one. So I'm going to start back down and head back to the Jeep, and then we'll see what we do from there.
What I didn't realize at the time is by the 2 mile mark, I had already climbed most of that 1,100 foot elevation gain, and I was just shy of some spectacular views based on what some other hikers told me back at the campground. And that brings us back to the nature trail sign and the bridge, and basically the end of the hike.
Well, that does it for this episode. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, if you haven't already, please subscribe. Help me get to my goal of 1,000 subscribers so I can get monetized on YouTube. Hit the like button. That helps spread the word of my videos to other people. And again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.